This video is made for adult collectors because apparently we have to wait almost 2 years after the movie came out to get a good figure of Arcee. So the way these pre-production samples show up, he's just here to hold the focus. The way the pre-production samples show up is really funny. So Yolopark sends me an email and goes, hey, we want to send you X product. Would you like it? I'm like, sure. And then it arrives like this. Technically they were in 2 Ziploc bags, but I threw the other Ziploc bag away before filming this. But yes, they arrived like this. It's very funny. I just think it's funny opening it up and just seeing how they've like packed this in. It's wrapped in bubble wrap and all that, but it's still quite hilarious. Rise of the Beast Arcee kind of got shafted in terms of figures. She had her core class, which was based off of concept art, and because of the whole scale thing, she had to be that small and kind of suffered for it. There was that one mainline one I never got the chance to mess with, but it looks all right. I've heard it's not the greatest though. Then this thing. I don't even know what's going on with this thing. So when Yolopark showed off theirs, I was so into it. And now having it in hand, this thing is so damn nice. This was sent over by Yolopark. They've got a wide range of Transformers items on their site. And this Arcee went up for pre-order yesterday. So you can check that out. Linked in the description below. They even have a holiday deals thing going on. But if you use code TOYGUY at checkout, you can save 5% off your order. Some exclusions do apply. But thank you very much, Yolopark, for sending this my way. Now back to the actual toy. This thing is a pre-production sample, so tolerances and things aren't final. However, like Drift before, they might as well be. This thing is solid as a rock. There are a couple of things I really don't like about this, but for the most part, she functions great too. I dig the metallic sheen and how bright she looks, but not too bright because of the damage. It stands out on the white more than on the red, but there are some really nice like battle damage bits picked out throughout this figure. They also threw a paint wash all over it. On the feet, it can get a bit intense, but on the rest of the figure, it's done quite well. It really helps emphasize those lines in places like her biceps, making it look like actual muscle structure going on there, and I kind of dig that. I also enjoy the asymmetric wheels on the back because that's how bike wheels would be. I like how they just didn't mirror the parts, which is kind of what I expected, but I like this. There's so much nice detail in the mid-torso too, like the springs and the pistons and how the die-cast joints just kind of look like bike parts. I really dig these colors. The pink, the red, and the white is a scheme that works super well with the bits of gunmetal throughout. She's a nice size too, but I think next to some other AMK Pro kits, she seems a bit too tall. Though I think with like a 3.0 DLX scale type thing, that would work a lot better. Now, the things I don't like. The head articulation is strange. The head itself is fused to the neck. That's one solid chunk. And it's weird. I wish there was a ball joint between the neck and the head, but it's all one part and it makes things awkward to move around. The pistons on the neck do bump into the shoulders and the backpack. I find if you move the shoulders down, you can avoid collision a little bit, but it is really weird. The waist can rotate, but only like a tiny bit. It bumps into the sculpt of her waist piece, and it's a little bit more limited than I would like it to be. There is a cool ab crunch thing though. The belly is on a spring, so you can compress it to allow the ab crunch to go more forward, which I think is a very clever solution. I kind of wish it could spring in a bit more though, so you could get the waist to rotate more. She comes with a typical flight stand, extra hands, and her guns. She also comes with an alternate face that has the same expression, but it's a different sculpt. There are some new bits on like the one I have on her face, the nose bridge, the lips, the cheeks, the bits around the eyes. It's kind of like sculpted differently. It appears to me, I'm not entirely sure why. My friends have pointed out it could be like one's a more anime-esque face and one is the face from the movie. I can kind of see that, but I also don't really know if that's true or not. Oh, and a visor. I'm keeping the visor on my figure. One of the cool things I really like about this is you can take the wheels off and plug them into the feet so you can recreate the chase scene. That's very cool. This is already my favorite Arcee design, so having like a superposable version of it is great. And this thing is very articulated, as all Yolopark figures are. But just like all other Yolopark figures, there's like 1 or 2 weird things that really bug me. And we'll start with the head, because that's part number 1 that bugs me. And that's what I talked about, how there is no ball between that neck stuff and her head. So it moves just at the base, and these sort of like pigtail piston things bump into the shoulder pads and they bump into the backpack. There's like 2 hinges right there and there that they bump into when you go to turn the head. So the head can turn, but as you saw, the arm moves there because those pistons, it just is a little annoying. You don't really see the pistons much. I honestly might trim them just a little bit to give more space, but yeah, that does get in the way, but you do get some nice tilt and stuff with that. This is a pre-production copy, so this falls off pretty easily. I'm assuming that won't be the case when this actually comes out, but that means I can show you the backpack. There is a hinge here, and then this part right here is on a hinge, and then you can move the wheels up and down as well as spin them. Oh, and then the brakes move they can move. The shoulders, there's a ball joint inside here and then a hinge, and then the shoulder pad has a hinge. So the ball joint acts as like a butterfly joint, so you can move the arm in and out and it can shift up and down, and then the arm can go out about that far. You do have bicep rotation, double jointed elbow. The wrist is on a ball joint and you can move it, and all of the hands are the same. The guns, they connect just by taking the ball joint and simply clicking it in, just like Mirage, but unlike Mirage, this isn't breaking on me. So that's good. The torso is the only other part that bothers me about the the only other part that really bothers me about the articulation. So up here at the chest section, you have some side to side, and then you have that little spring-loaded belly thing, so you can push this in, and then that gives her a full-on ab crunch, and it does reveal some nice back detail in the spine, which I think is cool. And these like shocks, I think these are shocks, I could be wrong, but revealing those is really cool. Then there is a side to side at the base as well, and then the waist joint, which only goes about that far. If you push the torso in, you can get it going a little bit further, but that's about it. That's all as I've been able to do. And that's a little unfortunate because she's like the most acrobatic character in the movie other than say like Cheetor. So I kind of wish that this could go a bit further than just that. But yeah, you do get some back, a little bit of back, but you get more forward than anything else out of the ab crunch. The hips, they can go forward about that far. They can go back about that far, and then they can go out that far. This is a softer, slightly more pliable material, so it can get out of the way. And then there are drop down hips. So that allows the hips to go all the way out that way. They can do a full 90. I wish they could go higher, but the sculpt does bump into like things. And then they can go back that far. So you do have that. There is a thigh rotation. You have double jointed knees that bend very smoothly, and then there's this piston that gets revealed and a piston up here. So there's that piston, which is, you know, cool, but then this one that actually moves and is made out of metal, which I think is really sick. And then the feet can go down, they can go up a little bit. You have a toe bend, and then you have an amazing ankle tilt. There's a little bit of foot rotation down here too, but one thing that I wish was a tiny bit better was I wish this white shin guard went into that gap. It's just ever so slightly too far forward that it doesn't, so the foot doesn't go more than like that. You do have the toe, which helps, but I don't know, part of me just kind of wish that moved a bit more. Now, one thing I forgot to write in the script, because usually these Yolopark stands, right, they have a little thing right here. I actually have drifts on hand. They have this Autobot symbol, right? And that Autobot symbol has a magnet at the back. Here's a Decepticon one. Magnet at the back. My pre-production copy didn't come with that, so I completely forgot to write this in until shooting it, but she does have, whoa, they're flashing. She does have light up eyes. So you get on, you get flashing. I don't know why you'd get flashing, but you get flashing, and then you get off. But she does have light up eyes, which is very nice. But other than like the waist and the head and maybe a little bit of thigh, I think this thing is very, very fun to mess around with and pose. It's such an acrobatic feeling figure. So yeah, I really enjoy this thing. It looks great, it feels great, it has a nice weight to it, and other than the neck and the waist, she's super poseable and a lot of fun to like mess with. If you're collecting these figures or want just a good representation of Rise of the Beast Arcee, then I think this is the figure to go with. I definitely recommend it. It's also, as I found out, slightly cheaper than the other AMK Pros, which, good, she's smaller. I was kind of hoping they'd do that. But that's been my look at Rise of the Beast Yolopark Arcee. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.